So remember, an event is a set of possible outcomes of a random experiment. The event occurs, or not, if any of its outcomes is the result. But since an outcome might be in two or more events, there are also some useful relationships. Two events might never occur simultaneously, or exactly one of two events might always occur. So we say that two events are mutually exclusive if they cannot occur simultaneously. It's possible that neither occurs, but it's impossible for both to occur at the same time. For example, you're told that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Are the events have your cake and eat your cake mutually exclusive? If it's true that you can't have your cake and eat it too, then they can't occur simultaneously, so they are mutually exclusive. And it's worth noting that if you decide two events are mutually exclusive, it's helpful to emphasize they can't happen simultaneously. For example, you're told you can have cake or ice cream. Are the events you can have cake and you can have ice cream mutually exclusive? And as always, it's important to watch for hidden assumptions and self-imposed restrictions. In the phrasing of the question, there is actually nothing that prevents you from having both. There may be a hidden assumption that you can only have one, but if it's not written down, it didn't happen. So these events are not mutually exclusive. They can happen simultaneously. And again, if you decide two events are not mutually exclusive, it's helpful to emphasize that they could happen simultaneously. We say that two events are complementary, that's with an E, we're not saying nice things about them, if exactly one of them must occur. Since only one can occur, they can't occur simultaneously, so complementary events are always mutually exclusive. So suppose you're taking a class, well, how about this one? Consider the events A, you get an A, P, you pass the class, and F, you fail the class. Which events are complementary and which are mutually exclusive? The key distinction is whether two events can happen simultaneously and whether one must happen. If you get an A, then you pass the class, so A and P can occur simultaneously. But if you get an A, then failing the class can't happen, so A and F are mutually exclusive. Likewise, P and F. Now, while we've decided which events are mutually exclusive, we can go the next step. Mutually exclusive events might be complementary. So consider the events A and F. It's possible you don't get an A, but still pass the class. So these events are not complementary. And if you decide two events are not complementary, it's helpful to provide a third option. So if you don't get an A, but still pass the class, you could get a B. Now consider P and F. You either pass the class or don't pass the class. Exactly one of these must occur, so they're complementary. And again, if you decide two events are complementary, it's helpful to emphasize the lack of other options. There are no other possibilities here.